We're going to do something a little different today. It is a fire show, right? So there always has to be fire. So I combined fire with something I call fire chats with TuxedoKat. And then I'm going to do an improvised speech about patriotism. So I want to have a little chat. And I wanted this to be as dramatic as possible because that is really where I, as an artist, find myself in truth, is through my drama and through my passion. And I really wanted to have a conversation about what is patriotism. But first I go into that, and before we get too dramatic, I want to spend a little time to thank those people who are indeed patriots. The troops, the soldiers, the frontline workers, the healthcare workers, and everyone that makes this country work. There's so many hands that make this country work. The janitors who clean the toilets and make everything sanitary for us, they make this country work. The fast food people who are working a job that, you know, not a lot of us probably would want to do, but these people are doing it, and we need to thank all of the people who are using their time and energy to help this world, this country, work as one, especially now in this pandemic. So we thank you to those true patriots, because the conversation we are having is what is a patriot. And I've been thinking about this lately as an artist, as an expression, someone who likes to share her thoughts very openly. There's a lot of vulnerability in that, because when you show your true colors, there's a lot of criticism that comes, undoubtedly. But with that comes patriotism. Because as I think about what patriotism is, patriotism, back in the day, the Revolutionary War times, what was a patriot? Well, a patriot was someone who, you know, believed in the country where they were living, and they wanted certain ideals, and they fought for them, and they used their eyes to realize that some things were a little wrong. Some things in back then, what society they had, some things were a little silly. And you know what? They didn't even have internet back then. Back then, word traveled around, and they had stories, and they told story to story, from person to person. That's how information got around about what patriots were doing in the New World and in the colonies. They were fighting for their rights. They saw that they were being taxed without representation, so someone stood up and they spoke about it. And they put themselves up on a soapbox, and they were vulnerable. They were vulnerable to the loyalists. Who were the loyalists? They were the people who were on this side of of England, which in the Revolutionary War was the opposing side to the Patriots. Short history lesson, but I can't help but see the similarities of really how we got our independence. Was just a bunch of people who said, hey, this isn't right. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say something. And you know what happened? Sometimes those people even lost their lives for speaking up. Maybe they were accosted or hurt or beat up, but some people may have lost their very voice itself. And when I talk about patriotism, I talk about people who dare to stand up in front of the public eye and to be vulnerable and to say, this is not right. This is not right. I see it with my own eyes. I live it every single day. This is not right. But some people have louder voices than other people, given by the very system that we're probably upset about. Some people are given more opportunities than others, and it is very clear, and it is very apparent. And as a patriot, I say that is not right. And I put myself out there I get on my soapbox and I say that loud as an ally, as someone who has been treated differently because I am a woman, and that there is some differences between people that comes with that people judge, that it's innate, it's something that people are just, they're taught from when they were little, when they were kids, from examples that are no longer in date, examples that are very out of date. And as this dramatic monologue that I'm completely improvising, I am speaking from the heart and saying, I think patriots are people who speak up, and they stand up in front of others, and they risk being ridiculed by public opinion, the news, the media, which, by the way, if we all can agree that the news and the media can tell any story they want. So I urge the patriots to keep that in mind when they are coming to their own conclusions, whether or not they believe for this, that, and the other, to research and put, like doubting Thomas, put your hand into Jesus, put your hand into Jesus's wounds so you can know that he's real. Go out and find the truth. As patriots, it is our job to find the truth and to spread the truth. It's very hard to spread the truth, especially when so many people are spreading their own truth. So how do you know when it's your time? And how do you know if you're a loyalist or a patriot? In today's day and age, there are loyalists among us, and there are patriots fighting very hard for equal rights between men, women, and people of all races. Because that is what's right. And that is what a patriot does, is they love their country so much that they're willing to risk whatever to get in front of a mob, in front of a community, in front of their country and say, this is not right. And for those patriots who decide to speak and to march and to walk, let me tell you, this is a long battle, and I'm sure you know, but for those of you who may think that this is a short fight, this is a long one. And patriots need to commit. They don't just do one act or two, they commit until freedom is for all. And so that's on this day, July 3rd, and as we go into our Independence Day here in this very tumultuous year, just crazy, random, spontaneous craziness just happening in 2020, as we go into tomorrow and we celebrate our country, for which gives us the freedoms to celebrate our country, as well as to make the decision to not celebrate. As patriots, we celebrate that freedom, and I hope that our patriots in this very tumultuous, crazy time can dig deep down into what it is that they are, and to bring it to light, and to speak it, and to face the people who will judge you, and to face the crowd and the mob and the people who will say things. People will say things. People always will say things, but if you know who you are and you know what you are saying is right and you fight for that patriotism, you are a patriot. Fight for what is right. Fight for your country. Fight for the community, and that we all can find some sort of unity. And man, it really starts with us, one person at a time, declaring, I am a patriot, and I'm going to say that this isn't right. Now, I went over my head so many different ways of what I wanted to talk about. I definitely know that I wanted it to be about patriotism, and I definitely want to say the words Black Lives Matter, because I believe that that is one way that a patriot can really do some great work for a lot of injustice that still exists. Because you know what? We can't get on a boat and sail to another land. There's no more land for us to go find our freedoms. This is our land. We gotta fight for it, y'all. We gotta speak up. We gotta find our voice. We gotta light it on fire. And we gotta pedal to the metal. I think I'm good. I think I've reached my max. So with that is something that I was thinking about all week. I wanted to have a nice conversation with y'all at home. So I appreciate you giving me the space to have this conversation about patriotism and what is it look like to be a patriot.